Welcome to Inside the Sound Chamber. My name is Don Simmons. Got a really special guest today, and this is one person that I've known for some time, and she is truly walking her walk and talking her talk. Mandara Cromwell is doctorate of cymatic medicine and president of Cyma Technologies. She's an American woman entrepreneur who manufactures her own innovations and inventions, the AMI Acoustic Meridian Intelligent Device. The AMI 750 was nominated for a Thomas Edison Award for innovation in the fields of science and medicine in 2013. She was inspired to create her own company to preserve the integrity of the specific healing frequency patterns that were passed to her as a body of work from British osteopath Dr. Peter Guy Manners in 2021. In 2022, Ms. Cromwell coined the term Cyma therapy to refer to wave therapy, which had been previously referred to as cymatic therapy by Dr. Manners and other British and German researchers. She has taken this work to new heights with her own inventions, the AMI devices, and her continuing research with innovative sound therapy and principles and protocols. As a way of forwarding the field of vibrational medicine, specifically sound therapy, Ms. Cromwell founded International Sound Therapy Association, known as ISTA, and since 2006, the organization has been producing conferences to bring new voices together in the field of sound science. Ongoing classes, trainings, programs are offered by ISTA and Cyma Technologies in numerous cities throughout the U.S. In 2019, she released her first book, Sound Flower, The Journey to Marry Science and Spirit, which includes many amazing and stunning cymaglyph illustrations. Mandara is both a pioneer and a visionary in the world of vibrational medicine and is a leading voice in the healing power of sound. I want to welcome Mandara Cromwell. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Don. It's great to be here with you and all the listeners.
Absolutely. And another little caveat is I have an AMI now 850. And, according to certain organizations, it reduces stress, and it does. It is an amazing product that I have found miraculous, really. And I know I can't really say that word, but it is miraculous. And I use it even to this day. So thank you for bringing this technology, true science, into the world of sound. So I want to ask you, Mandara, you've been doing this for a long time. Like I said, you're a pioneer. And, in that time, and I remember when we first met, there was very few sound events that were taking place, very few. But you'd been doing it for a while, bringing this work to the fore. What was your creation story? What happened with you that said, sound is important, I need to follow this?
Don, it started when I was just a wee one. Truly, my parents, I lived in a small town, and or actually, I lived on a farm near a small town, and we attended a Catholic church that was in the style of Gothic architecture. And on the ceilings, there were these beautiful angels with golden halos, and the big pipe organ up in the choir loft. And when it would sound, the whole structure would sing. Those arcs, buttresses, spires, everything came to life. And it's interesting, those gold halos. I always told my dad, I want a gold hat like that. Anyway, those gold halos became my first cymatic images. I didn't know that's what cymatics was, but painted in the halos were these tiny little pictures that would vibrate. And so that really later I found out those are my cymaglyphs from being a child. And so through college, I studied art and architecture. Then after college, I traveled in India because at that time, that's where we heard where we needed to go to seek the wise and holy men who knew the truth of the universe. And so anyway, I traveled and lived in India, and in that time, I began to study Ayurveda, and part of Ayurveda is, of course, going to the temples. So voila, here was another example of a spiritual spot, a little bit like the Gothic style church that I grew up in. This was a little different, but it still had that amazing sound resonance. And you would walk in, and the pillars, the dome, the priests chanting the Sanskrit prayers. Again, I had that really profound experience. It was really transformational. So I realized these particular types of structures are creating a sound grid, amplified by being built on vortices. So here we have this whole vibratory experience that truly is transformational. So then I came back to the United States, continued to study Ayurveda, and also taught meditation and ran a meditation center. And that is when I remembered yantras, which were geometric designs that we would meditate with when I was in India. And then I became aware of Dr. Hans Jenny's work, and he is the father of Cymatics. Maybe he's the father of Cymatics because he coined the name Cymatics, which comes from the Greek word "chema," which means wave. Cymatics is the study of wave phenomena. But really, people have been using cymatics since the beginning of time. We see it carved in the pillars. We see it carved in caves. These stone messages or messages carved in wood have been amplifying vibrations to us all throughout our lives, and we just didn't know what to call it. So that's how I got my beginning.
That really is amazing, and it goes along with the talk you'll be giving at the conference, Cymatics from the mystical science. So where was that moment when you met Dr. Peter Guy Manners and really brought it from that mystical, from that ancient into that modern? How was that transition?
Well, I wrote a whole book about that
Oh,
called
oh,
Safflower,
oh,
the Journey to Marry Science and Spirit. But I'll give you as we used to call them, the Cliff Notes version when I
right.
was in college. So I one day began this conversation with someone on the telephone who I had never met. I was working as a consultant, and someone called me, and we started talking about sound and vibration, and we shared a lot of the common threads of yoga and Ayurveda and holistic medicine. And then he started talking to me about this British osteopath who had a sound box of frequencies. So you play these audible frequencies, and they had a profound physiological effect in a very positive way for healing bones, for all kinds of conditions. And so I began to think, oh my goodness, this is just really amazing, because we are at this time where we are at the crux of ancient tradition and modern technology. And so here someone has a sound box that they're helping people with their health. And I just had to know what that was all about. And I got on a plane, went over to the middle of England in the Cotswolds, and there was this British osteopath who saw people from all over the world and was using his sound frequencies. So people would come to him, and in just a 20 or 30-minute session, they would have these sounds applied to them. And then he would just kind of touch here or there, doing an osteopathic adjustment, and they would go home feeling renewed. So that's how I got into, or how my relationship with Dr. Manners began. So I immediately said, hey, I want to learn all about this, and signed up for all of the courses. And then I discovered that he was having some difficulty with manufacturing of his devices. And so one day I said, hey, if you would like to bring this manufacturing to the United States, I can help you with that. And he said, oh, yes, I've been waiting for you. Now, I don't know if he was actually waiting for me, probably not, but he was waiting for someone to come along to help him. And so today, what I do is I take the specific sound frequencies, and then through a colleague of mine in the UK, some of you may be familiar with John Reed, and he helps me make them visible. So when we can see them visible, we can then actually do scientific experiments with them and see how are they affecting the physical body for conditions like chronic inflammation or pain in particular. To mitigate pain would be a huge thing to help people in a non-invasive way. And so that's what I do. And so I do a lot of research, and that's what I'll be sharing at the conference. I'm really excited to share. I have new research that, let's see, I have 2 projects that I've completed, and I think I'll have a 3rd one completed by the time the conference comes, to
That's
just
awesome.
show how powerful sound and cymatics, the actual sound made visible image, can impact our health.
What's really wonderful and amazing, like I said, you're a pioneer and a visionary, and what you're talking about, taking it into that science and the graphs, the glyphs of sound, really takes it into the visual, that induces another level of healing that we've not seen before. And I love that you did study traditional Chinese medicine, letting and that frequency and vibration flowing through the meridian centers. Once again, it's not being stuck in one way of the needles of the acupuncturist, which is great. Now you're taking it into this other zone, using the frequency and vibration through the soles of the feet that go through the meridian centers, and the glyphs now that really are adding an extra dimension. It really is using the mystical and the science together. And that's where I applaud you, not staying where you are, but moving forward with research. And that's so powerful. We have a tendency to get stuck in science as well as anything else. And I believe that sound and sound therapy is truly the leading edge of our healing modalities to come. In some of the things that I've read, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I believe we just tapping the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, because it's, well, the instrumentation that we have that continues to evolve to see inside the body or to see the energy fields around the body. This instrumentation is increasing every year. And so that alone is very exciting. But then when we can see non-invasive sound and how it impacts the body, I have research, as you can imagine, with using today's technology to see what the positive impact of increasing cell motility, increasing cell viability, increasing oxygenation, and decreasing inflammation. That is so powerful. And I would really love for everybody in the world to have one of my devices, but we've got to speed it up because too many people are hurting.
Yeah.
So what I've created is a research project of how you can actually look at one of these cymaglyphs, of one of these sound made visible images, and what can that do for us? This is really taking cymatics and looking at it and going, what are we really looking at here? What can it do for us? Should we do something about it? The brain processes 400 billion bits of information every second, and 10 million of those bits is through our visual cortex. So when we see something, that saying, seeing is believing, but if we see something, that is registering on that visual cortex and cascading this information all throughout all of our body systems. So it is pretty exciting, and I can't wait to share the research with everyone.
It really is exciting. And that whole process, first of all, Soundflower, your book is just beautiful with so many images in it. That's powerful. And I agree, by the way, and I tell my own clients and students, everybody should have the AMI in their home. It is a healing device. But the frequency and vibration as it is appearing, there is harmony within that glyph. And our bodies go out of harmony. And when watching, seeing, looking at that image, which a picture tells 1,000 stories also, then we do come into harmony. This is powerful visionary work you're doing, Mandara. So you are going to be on the panel discussion on Friday at 2:15 for the Soundwave conference coming up in Sarasota. And then you're going to be doing a specific panel, a specific talk. Oh, that will be Friday at 2:15. The panel discussions at 3:30. And your talk is Cymatics, the mystical science. What will that involve, and what will people, you think, come away with?
I think they will be transformed because not only am I going to share the research, a little bit of my experience of being in the temples and the sacred spots, whether it is noted as a spiritual spot, this grid pattern gets set up, this vibrational pattern. And that's really what a cymatic impression is. It is a representation of pure vibration. And so I will take people through the research because, our left brains, we really have to hang on to, like, is there really science here? So I will show the scientific part and the research to back it up. But I'm also going to give a Cyma glyph experience where the audience can actually sit and experience it firsthand for themselves, and they can share at the end. So I'm
That's
really
awesome.
excited.
We are really excited to have you at this conference. Obviously, the founder of the International Sound Therapy Association shows your visionary quality right there. And we're so happy that you're going to be presenting and being with us in Sarasota. After the many years of being in Atlanta, we're taking it to the beach. Mandara, thank you so much for being here. Looking forward to seeing you at the conference.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you all there.